into the whole Abraham Hicks books.
Okay, so you're already exposed to law of attraction at this point.
Yes, so then I knew about it from The Secret. And then I went to the library and wanted to see other books on the law of attraction. And then I found yours and I checked it out. I was like, oh, this one looks like an easy read. And I read it. Yeah, and then I read it and I was like, wow, your book makes it so much easier. I don't know, obviously you have the training for that to give it a different twist, but it's like your book just like, like an elementary school kid could read your book and they would understand the law of attraction.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. When my book first came, that's part of my training is using accelerated learning techniques. We can talk about that more later. But when my book first got listed on Amazon, I remember somebody said this. They said, I don't know if you have this in the United States. I think you did. Remember the Dick and Jane books? Did you have those in the USA?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm Canadian, so when we were growing up, it would say, see Dick run, see Spot chase, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and one woman said, oh, it's so Dick and Jane.
Yeah.
And then I called my friend Linda, and I said, oh, somebody doesn't like my book. They said it's Dick and Jane. And you know what she said? That's a compliment. She meant that it's easy to read, and it's easy to understand, and people got it. So when people say, this is easy, you know what I tell them? Yeah, I know. I made it easy.
I know, and that's a good thing. That's a compliment. Yeah. That's like, wow. Yeah, no, definitely.
You might have noticed that Oprah Winfrey had also interviewed me 4 times on her radio show with the same compliment, and that's how I got dubbed the how-to guy for Law of Attraction. I was scheduled to have a half-hour interview with her. She kept me on the line. We did another show. 2 weeks later, we did 2 shows where we took call-in, and then 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from Harpo that says, we want you to have your own radio show on Oprah and Friends Radio. So I had my own show for a whole year, and my claim to fame is that I'm the how-to guy.
Wow.
I was also asked to be in The Secret twice, and I turned down that offer because it didn't feel like it was in vibrational harmony for me.
Mm-hmm.
And, my book came out in 2003. I self-published, and then after The Secret came out and people were looking for the how-to, and then when Oprah had the people from The Secret on, they mentioned the word law of attraction 13 times. Wow. And every time she mentioned it, I sold 1,000 books. People went online during that show, and my book went from 198 on Amazon to number 3.
Wow.
And it stayed there. She didn't even talk about my book. She just mentioned the word law of attraction, and people went to type it in. And then shortly after, I sold the rights to it in 28 countries, and including the U.S. and Canada. So it's in 28 languages right now, and it's still selling.
Wow, that is so exciting. I'm so happy for you. I really am. And I'm so grateful and thankful because I discovered it, and it has helped me a lot. Right now, I lend it to my brother, but he's hopefully going to read it soon. You know how it is. Sometimes it takes people a while, and it just, at the perfect moment, at the perfect time, they pick it up.
In the seminars, I teach people, I say, if people don't ask the question, they don't always hear the answer. So we want people to hear the answer to a question that they didn't ask. Now, is he looking for a job or a girlfriend or money, or?
No, he's just looking for inner peace and.
Inner peace. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have some free podcasts, to help people attract a job or attract opportunities or something. But you're right. Your best thing to do is just model it.
Right.
Just model it. People say, wow, how is it you have such great lines? Or how is it you always get, I love the way you language stuff. That's all I ever did. And people, and what they're really saying is, okay, you can tell me about law of attraction now. I'm ready.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because when I go visit them, my brother and his wife is not always saying, wow, you look so good, so happy. She's like, are you in love or something? I'm like, yes, I'm in love with myself,
Yes. Last week I did a law of attraction cruise. It was called the High Vibes. We left Los Angeles. We went down to Mexico. And so I did, every day I did round table breakfast meetings, and I did dinner meetings, and I did seminars. And one of the conversations, we had a lot of round circle groups. I wasn't always on the stage, or we got in small groups. And a conversation that came up a lot is that we need to come out of our law of attraction closets. And we need to be comfortable to say, I got this because of law of attraction, or this is here because of me, and and not be shy about telling other people. It's funny, we tolerate people being negative around us, but we don't feel safe enough to say, you know what, I use law of attraction, look what I attracted. And whether they like it or not, we should be allowed to say that. So the whole conversation about just coming out, and I told people, post my book on your Facebook page and say, anybody else reading this book? You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how many law of attraction closeted people there are.
Yeah,
and it's,
absolutely. I always say I use the law of attraction, even with my friends, some of them who are not into it yet. I don't push it on them. I just say, and when something good happens, I'm like, it's the law of attraction, and they're just
you're modeling it then.
Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes they just start repeating it after me when something good happens around us. So little by little, I think people will be getting it.
Yes. Well, if you enroll 3 people, I'll get you a toaster. How's that?
Oh yes, definitely. And I always repost. I posted your book on Facebook, and then the video that I did, I keep reposting it on Facebook. I always recommend that book to people because I'm like, it's really good for starters, because if people are starting to get into the law of attraction, your book is like the #1, the first book they should be reading, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. And people like you and I that are very Abraham friendly, I do love their teachings, and they're not trainers, they're storytellers, and that's how they get the message across. But sometimes you could pick up an Abraham tape and it starts to talk about allowing, but for beginners that's confusing. So you're right. Here's the training meal, and then when you want more in-depth and more other examples, then Abraham work is perfect for that.
No, absolutely.